What is up, guys? It is Ian from the PI Podcast coming at you with my Jaguars notes from the Hall of Fame game. Still kind of sick, so I'm like battling the after effects of COVID. So without further ado, we are going to do our best to, I'm going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. First off, a couple of key players that I want to talk about that had very good preseason game. Trey Herndon, I know he's fighting for the 4th or 5th cornerback spot, and it looks like he's going to have it on lock because he played extremely well. Trayvon Walker, he looked dominant. I mean, he really looked like he was dominating the tackle that he was up against. And then Arden Key had an amazing game. He had 2 sacks. He wasn't in very long, but he's gonna be a very good addition to this defense. Again, sorry for the coughs. The COVID really ruined me. Other than that, Tyson Campbell got injured very early, which hate to see that, but it did look like he was up on the sidelines ready to go back in. And they haven't said anything about him, so it looks like he's good. Andrew Wingard made a few good tackles. Obviously, we're wanting Cisco to start, but everybody that played, to me, showed out. Especially guys that are really pushing for a starting role. Offensively, Luke Farrell looked really good. I think he's gonna battle for the 3rd tight end spot with Manhurts. But I really do see our tight end room being extremely strong. So far, it's looking like it's going to be Evan Ingram, Dan Arnold, Chris Manhurts, and Luke Farrell at the tight end, which is good. Doug Peterson likes to use tight ends, so that's a solid room. It's one of our better tight end rooms that we've had in the past, so that's something that we should look forward to. Evan Ingram's really the guy that we're going to have to keep an eye on because of his drops, but not much to talk about offensively because there was no starters. Laquan Treadwell had a close to fumble. Marvin Hall had a big fumble that really stalled any momentum we might have had. But the quarterback room, I'm not a big Jake Luton fan. I was disappointed in the Jaguars when they were pulling Minshew and giving Jake Luton reps. And Mike Glennon, I think they should have just rolled with Minshew that year. Jake Luton, I don't think he should be on the team. I don't think he played good enough to warrant a 3rd string quarterback role. I think we would be fine with Trevor and CJ Beathard. However, if we want 3 quarterbacks, Jake Luton definitely better than Kyle Slaughter by a mile. Kyle Slaughter looked like he was afraid to throw the ball. It looked like he was afraid to be back. I don't know. It was very hard to watch Kyle Slaughter. Like I said, I understand it's his first NFL game. He was in the USFL. There's no reason to have 4 quarterbacks, obviously. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was just 2 quarterbacks because Jake Luton didn't really get anything going. Granted, it was with 2nd and 3rd stringers, but I don't know. He had a couple batted balls, and at 6'6", that's my biggest pet peeve in a quarterback is getting a ball batted down when you're 6'6". When you've got guys like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson making it work, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Snoop Connor got some reps. Again, he was going behind a 2nd string offensive line. He didn't break anything really, but, that kind of is what it is. The field goals, I'm extremely interested to see who this kicker situation, because Elliott, he made one field goal, and Ryan Santosa missed, but his was a 60-yarder, and he definitely had the leg on it. It would have been good from 65 yards out if it was accurate. So that's probably the big story from preseason on the who's cut, who's not, is watching the kicker situation. The defense was better than it looked. They had quite a few starters in for the Raiders. Obviously, Josh Jacobs started out the game from them, who's a top 15 running back in the league. They also had like Kenyon Drake taking snaps. So I think our defense looked pretty good considering they were on the field a lot with our offense not doing anything. And then two names that impressed me, both offensive, was Cotton and Nathan Cottrell, which I was a big advocate for them to make the roster last year. They're back, so I'm not 100% sure they'll make the roster, but I think they played well. Our wide receiver room and running back room is just very crowded right now. You got Armstead in the running back room. A lot of people forget about him. You've got Snoop Connor, who we just drafted, and obviously James Robinson and Travis Etienne. So I don't know if we go with 5 backs. And then our wide receiver room is extremely crowded as well. We have, just off the top of my head, Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Laviska Shenault, and then it's really the 5th and 6th, if we do 6 wide receivers, that are going to, you only have spot for 2 guys. And Laquan Treadwell, in my opinion, impressed enough last year to get a spot this year. So we'll see how that works out. Really, obviously, our first couple draft picks this year, let's see, the center we just got, his name's like losing off the top of my head. He's 100% a lock for the roster. Snoop Connor's probably a lock for this year's roster. Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma. Chad Muma didn't play that great, but he's a rookie. Trayvon Walker, obviously, and Trevor Lawrence. Those are really the locks. Evan Ingram's a lock. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Laviska, I think they're locks. Our offensive line is going to be locked with Tyler Shatley, Ben Barch, Cam Robinson, Jawan Taylor, Walker Little, Brandon Scherf, obviously. Them guys are all locks, in my opinion. Defensively, all of our new pickups are locks. Shaquille Griffin's obviously a lock. Tyson Campbell's a lock. Unfortunately, I think Andrew Wingard is a lock. Andre Sisco's a lock. Rashawn Jenkins a lock. So really, it's like the 4th or 5th wide receiver spot, or the 5th or 6th wide receiver spot. The 4th running back is going to be like the thing to watch for. Whether we keep a 3rd string quarterback is going to be something we look at. Whether we keep all 4 tight ends, which I think we will. Doug Peterson's probably going to keep all 4 tight ends. And I think that's pretty much a lock. If there's 4, it's Man Hurts and Luke Farrell, and then obviously Dan Arnold and Evan Ingram. So, but we still have 3 more preseason games to watch, and who knows what could happen by then. I mean, somebody could get injured, and somebody might be forced to step up. We still have a very tad bit of cap space, even though I don't think we're going to pursue any trades or pickups in the next 4 weeks. I just don't see that happening. But like I said, sorry for being sick, but wanted to give my thoughts on the game. There's nothing to worry about, though. I mean, everybody says that, but there's really nothing to worry about because it was preseason. It was a bunch of 2nd stringers, 3rd stringers. We brought 90 people to the game, and there's only going to be 53. So 40 of those guys are going to get cut, and you probably watched 30 of them at least play that are going to get cut. So, but the Raiders, they look good. I'll be honest. I mean, they've got depth, and that was one of their bigger question marks. Their offensive line's a little bit of a question mark, which our defensive line did decent against Stidham, Trayvon Walker, like I said, he looked like he was going to be a menace. He was pushing that tackle back. He was getting to the quarterback. He got a flag for roughing the passer when he hit him on the chest. But I'm glad he's getting back there. That's something we didn't see a lot last year. The only game we really seen it last year was against the Bills, and they had 3 offensive linemen out. So, really excited for this year still, and I hope these draft picks get more playing time throughout the preseason. I would love to watch Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne just 1 or 2 drives this preseason, but I'm cool with not risking the injury because we know they're going to be good next year. So, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. It's Ian from the PI Podcast, big Jags fan. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PI Podcast and on Twitter at PI Podcasters. Until next time.